thing isn't working. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I am a CPA serial entrepreneur, and I decided that I love talking about how to win at business, and that's what I do here. I try to do it every night, and if I'm not around, I try to do a watch party. But I'm just trying to put good information out there that will help the new business owner, the solopreneur, the people like me that get isolated and wind up doing 18 hours of Zoom meetings and podcasts and never actually get to, talk to people. This is ridiculous, folks. I mean, come on. I'm just wondering, once the dust settles, let's say like 5 years from now, are we going to be so used to being stuck inside that are we going to go out anymore? I know when I was a kid, I used to actually go out and play baseball, like with a glove and a bat and a real ball. And we played football in the street. And now I don't know what happened. They stay at home and play these games on a computer. I played Asteroids and Space Invaders and stuff, but we went out. That stuff was out at the mall. I don't get it. But anyway, I don't know how I got on that subject. But, the story is that, it's tough. Let's go through the presentation. First, I like to do a quote. Usually it's a quote by this guy, and the pictures don't do him justice because, the guy was actually a great swimmer. He was an athlete, and I don't know why they use this. He looks like an old, fat man. Maybe he was, but at that time. Anyway, for every minute spent organizing, an hour is earned. Benjamin Franklin, one of my top, probably top 3 people, definitely top 5. I gotta give this some thought, but he's way up there with Abraham Lincoln and some other people. Anyway, when I looked at this, I said, well, if I'm going to save an hour just by spending a minute, if I organize my stuff for 40 minutes, isn't that like saving a whole week? Think about it. The math just doesn't work, and it just doesn't work. Maybe back in when you were alive, but I don't see how this is even a good quote now, to be honest with you. It's really a lie. It's misleading. I'm sorry I picked it. Anyway, so let's get on with the show here. Tonight's training, I decided, and because, the funny thing is about how this is lined up, because it's not lined up properly. And what I was going to tell you is that one of the keys to success is being organized. And that includes organizing our documents. And it's another one of those things that nobody wants to do. It's like, one night Haley Gray did a video of her cat, and her cat was sitting on the counter looking at this fish food. And he wouldn't look at Haley because he knew that she was looking at him because she was videotaping him. And as soon as she turned away, he smacked the thing down and started eating it because he figured, well, if she wasn't looking at him and if he wasn't looking at her, he must be invisible. And that's what the document thing is like. And maybe not exactly, but the point is that it's like the cat. If nobody looks at it, if I don't admit that the papers are there and they need to be filed, well, I'm not bringing it up at a meeting because, whoever brings something up like that has to do it. And nobody wants to do it. But unfortunately, it's like the garbage. Nobody wants to take the garbage out. Nobody wants to dust, but you do it. You do it or you get yelled at. So you gotta keep an organized file system. And I probably already gave away half of the presentation. But, these are meant to be strategies that help you win at business. And, here's, and I go through this every night more to remind myself that life is difficult. And this is a quote from, obviously Dr. M. Scott Peck. And you ever wonder about, why do people have an initial as their first name? What's that all about? I mean, is his first name M or is it Scott? Like when you fill out a tax form and you got to put your first name and then your initial, I don't think Scott is going to fit in there. So I don't know how this ever came about. But anyway, the guy wrote a book and it was awesome. And in the first paragraph, he said, you know what? Life is tough. And once you can accept that, you can start enjoying life. And that just like, it was one of those moments where I'm like, oh, you mean it's normal to be like this? I'm okay with that. If everybody's like this, then what can I do about it? But now what we do is we add being in business. So what we just did, and this is how crazy we are as entrepreneurs, we took something that it's granted that, okay, M period, or is it M dot? I don't know. But we just made it harder. And the thing is, nobody told us this. Nobody told me. Nobody said, hey, if you go into business, you're probably going to be bankrupt a couple of times. Your wife is going to leave you. Your friends and your family are going to hate you. You're going to feel like, believe me, if they told me that, I probably still would have done it. But at least I could have had a warning. And the truth is, and this is another fallacy because they say, and this is from Forbes, 8 out of 10 businesses fail. It's definitely more than that. But 8 out of 10 is so in other words, if I start a business today, chances are I'm going to be out of business. And the only question is how fast and how much money am I going to lose? I mean, so right away, okay, Forbes is right. Even if the SBA is right, and they say like, oh, only 50% of businesses fail. Okay, so flip a coin. Well, if I fail, I'm losing money, time and money. And if I don't fit, if I stay in business, well, that doesn't mean I'm making a lot of money. Anyway, there's too much stuff. That's the bottom line. There's too much stuff. And now you got to add filing and documents and stuff. What, that's not what I signed up for. But this is the other thing, I started back in the 1800s. We didn't have fax machines. We didn't have cell phones. And, we used to talk about, wow, someday, we're going to be paperless. And if you're growing up now, you don't know what being having paper was like. It's not good. And the paperless thing is going to make everything easier. And that was a good thing because, being unorganized is really one of the reasons why businesses fail. I mean, it's a lack of focus, but, if you're not focused, how can you be organized? And, what I do is, if you haven't noticed, I just try to make business as fun, simple, and profitable as it could possibly be. And I'm not checking the comment. Okay, so right now I don't see any comments. So as far as I know, I'm talking to myself here. So if you could just give me a hashtag live or something, or a question, or tell me that I have no idea that what I'm talking about, that's fine. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay, because all of that stuff increases my TV ratings. Okay, I get higher ratings when people post stuff. So if you don't want me to get higher ratings, don't post anything. So this is the deal with the file systems, and this is because everybody has a different idea of what a file system is. This is what it's got to be, and I'm talking about whether it's paperless or paper. And the truth is, right now, you probably need to have a combination, but you got to be able to get to it. It's got to be organized, and it's got to be consistent. Accessibility. Okay, so Google Drive is one of these, and I'm going to give you an example of how I have my system. You can use Dropbox. I usually use Dropbox as a way to transfer files. I feel like it's just a lot more secure. And you can save things locally. And what I mean by locally is on your own hard drive or on your server, or actually in a file cabinet. I have file cabinets. It's got to be organized. So whatever your thing is. I have taxes because obviously I'm an accountant. You need insurance, permanent file, vendors and bills, customers, invoices. Whatever your system is, there's got to be categories. Now, believe it or not, I mean, this might sound elementary, of course, everybody knows this. If you're going to file documents, they got to be. Don't assume anything, because I have seen some really creative file systems. Everything's got to be consistent. Okay, you can't have it. Okay, now we're going to do the things weekly, and then we're going to do it monthly, or we're going to do it alphabetically. No, we're going to do it chronologically. You can't have a system and a subsystem. So alphabetizing is one good way. Chronologically, naming conventions. I'm going to explain what that is. Naming conventions are what. Well, let me just give you a couple of examples, and then you'll see. PDF. That's portable document format. I think that's the Adobe thing. So PDF. So when you see a PDF, that's a format. So it's important to know about these formats. So if you have a document, it's going to have a name, and then it's going to have .pdf. So that's what you have to understand. You're going to have you're going to have a picture. It's going to be the name and then JPEG. And PNG is another format. TIFF is another. Now, I think I messed up the slideshow, but I want to tell you a story here, because this is why this is important. This was a trucking company doing, I think, $5 million a year. Big trucking company. They had at least 100 trucks. Big operation in business. 30, 40 years. So they were established. And so this was when scanning was becoming popular, and the owner got a scanner and started, because the trucking business there's a lot of paperwork, a lot. Trust me, there's a lot of paperwork over and above what a normal business has. So what he wanted to do, he wanted to become paperless. So he started scanning all of the documents and then shredding them, figuring that, he's got it scanned. And I gave him, I would give him tax returns, and he would scan them, and and shred them. And then it got to a point where he kept asking me for copies of the returns. And I said, but I saw you scanned it. And the thing was, he didn't have a naming convention. Whatever the scanner assigned to that document, because it comes with a default name, and you're supposed to change that, or make it so every time you save a document, you have to name it. Well, he never did that, which meant he had hundreds of thousands of documents that he had no idea what they were. He would have to go through every single one and figure out what they were. And he didn't have the paper anymore. That company went out of business about 2 years later. That was the result of a son taking over a business and no idea what he was doing. But that's a true story, folks. And that is basically how the guy ran his business, by the seat of his pants, doing things without thinking about it. I think this says the end of the thing, but yes, I guess that is. But so that was a lot shorter than I thought. Let me go back. So it's not the end, because I do want to show you a couple of other things. I want to show you my Google file system. And the way that this works is, so this is something that I would set up for like a client. And so we have documents come in, we scan them, and we name them according to what folder it's supposed to go in. So vendors, I don't know if there are any samples in here. And then in here, so this is what I mean by chronologically and alphabetically. So I got my 2020 receipts and vendors all set up here. And so each vendor would have a file or a folder. And then their documents would go in there. So this is a document, Pop Hub. So this usually, so passion on purpose, and that's a naming convention. And that's that. And let me see. Oh, and so that's one way to do it. Now, oh, and the other thing, sorry, I'm having a brain freeze here again. So we don't, and this is where the confusion came in with the paperless stuff. So you're getting mail, which is dwindled. Most receipts come in the form of electronically. Most receipts are going to be PDF files. And when we get those, what we need to do is save them in the file system. You see, having those in your email or your PayPal account, that's not centralized. So everything needs to be centralized. Everything needs to be organized. And this was the last thing that I wanted to show you. If you know me, you know I'm a fan of Wave apps. And so let's go to trying to find my Wave apps screen. And there we go. Okay, so this is another example of something that Wave apps is doing. And I just came upon this. So Wave apps is a free bookkeeping software. And it's really unbelievable. And what they have now is you can actually upload receipts to your Wave apps. And I'm trying to see, I uploaded a bunch of receipts and it's processing it. I don't know if it's going to pull out the number and all of this info. If it did, that would be unbelievable. But I know, other software programs, like even QuickBooks, you can attach a receipt. Although QuickBooks makes everything, a lot harder. So, this is a free program, and that's it. And let me go back to my PowerPoint, because I do have a close here. And here we go. So you have the naming convention. Like I try to say with every training, if you learn anything here and you don't take action, you wasted your time. So, unused knowledge, or whatever they say, is wasted. So hopefully I taught you something today, gave you some kind of direction. I want to let you know about this new special that I have going. It's I don't know how long I can do this. It depends on how many clients I could take on at this price. But this includes everything from setting up your bookkeeping to any kind of business and tax situation that you have. I am your go-to guy, $47 a month. Nobody can compete with this price. Okay, it doesn't include tax returns, but it does include tax planning. We will keep your bookkeeping up to date 24/7. And if you're interested, all you need to do is go to timewithjoe.com and book an appointment with me, book a free chat. and maybe we can connect. That's the whole idea. I don't get paid for this. This is one of the ways that I connect with new clients. And so, if what I said resonates with you, if you want to check me out, if you want to give me, a free test drive, I'm available. Just go to timewithjoe.com. And that's my story. I'm sticking with it. Over and out. Thank you. God bless. And I will see you tomorrow with another version of the Joe DeChara Show. Thank you.